Welcome into episode 8 of the New Killer series. This series strives to inform people about the logistics of licensed characters in Dead by Daylight. Today we're going to talk about the Candyman license and what Behavior Interactive would have to do to bring Candyman into the game. We're also going to cover all the speculation and Candyman Dead by Daylight rumors up to date. There are a lot of people that want Candyman in DBD. Matthew Cote has admitted that Behavior Interactive has considered the Candyman license.
We'll throw some options out here and just a simple yes or no or who, and we can wrap this up. How's that sound?
All right.
Candyman.
Yes.
The problem with Candyman is that the ownership was kicked around and eventually it was owned by 3 different entities, and none of them were speaking with each other or cooperating with each other.
What's up, guys? My name is Schmuckles. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you want to see the next video where I'm going to explore another license and its license holders. I also stream on Twitch on Wednesday and Sunday nights. The link is in the description below. And if you want to see the other videos in this series, you can click on the title card above if you're interested. A lot of people speculated Candyman for the Chapter 16 4-year and for Chapter 17. And a lot of rumors for Candyman have died down since then. But there's still a lot of concepts out there for Candyman's perks and powers. If he's brought into DBD, he'll look very similar to Charlotte from the first-person view because she's got a hook on her right hand as well. There's a lot of people in the DBD community that want a Candyman chapter soon, especially since the Candyman reboot is scheduled for August 27th of 2021. Clive Barker created the character Candyman. Fun fact, he also created the character Pinhead, but we'll cover that in another video. In 1986, Clive Barker wrote a short story titled The Forbidden. It focused on an urban legend called the Candyman. In this story, a university student believes that Candyman is connected to recent murders, and she eventually comes face to face with this urban legend. From this short story came the first Candyman movie, which was released in 1992, starring Virginia Madsen as Helen Lyle and Tony Todd as Candyman. Propaganda Films and Polygram Filmed Entertainment were the producers of this film. TriStar Pictures distributed it. The first movie got $25.8 million in box office revenue. 2 standalone sequels were released after that. Candyman Farewell to the Flesh in 1995, which was distributed by Gramercy Pictures. Candyman Day of the Dead in 1999, distributed by Artisan Entertainment. And in 2018, it was announced that Jordan Peele would produce a new reboot film. Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer Pictures, or MGM, Monkey Paw Productions, and Braun Creative are producing this film, and Universal Pictures is going to distribute it. Behavior Interactive would have to obtain this license through one of these license holders. Each film is owned by different companies. TriStar Pictures owns the first one, Gramercy Pictures owns the second, Universal Studios and Artisan Entertainment own the third, and MGM owns the fourth. There's a similar situation to the Halloween license, which Behavior recently renewed. The Halloween franchise is also owned by several different production companies. It's kind of a jumbled mess, but let's see if we can make sense of this. Pretty much every Halloween movie is owned by a different company, and the owners of the reboots are not the same as the owners of the originals. We've also seen this with the Chucky license. The original Halloween is owned by Compass International Pictures. This is the copyright license that Behavior acquired, as you can see at the end of the Halloween chapter trailer. So all the cosmetics and skins in the Halloween chapter must be from the first Halloween because Behavior doesn't have the license for the other movies. So the owner of the first Candyman movie is TriStar Pictures. It's likely that this license is the one that Behavior would have to negotiate for to bring Candyman into the game. The fact that Candyman is stretched between 5 different license holders probably means the cosmetic situation would be something similar to like Michael Myers or Freddy Krueger, meaning only skins from the original film. There's a lot of speculation that the actor who played Candyman, Tony Todd, and Behavior Interactive were collaborating when Tony Todd followed Dead by Daylight on Twitter in early 2020. Leaks by Daylight tweeted out about this, and Tony Todd himself liked the post. As pointed out on many of the forums, it's not the first time that the first clues of a collaboration between Dead by Daylight and some licensed content started from Twitter. It also happened, for example, with Stranger Things. The actors who played Steve Harrington and Nancy Wheeler in the TV series just before the release of the chapter followed DBD on Twitter, but Matthew Cote actually talked about this in an interview that I found.
I mean, I think one of our listeners, he lost his mind when the Candyman actor was following all the DBD accounts, and it was like,
we noticed.
What does this mean? Is this happening?
We had nothing to do with that. It was just a perfect timing thing. To,
Yeah.
Troll the scent.
Right.
People.
Tony Todd has been known to like other posts when people speculate Candyman coming to DBD. He follows 16.8 thousand people on Twitter. It was determined that the likes that people were receiving on the DBD Candyman Twitter posts were not by a bot because not every single one of them got a like. I will say this though, most celebrities don't even run their own social media. They have other people doing it for them. Obviously they have the final say in what to post, but a lot of celebrities are overwhelmed by social media and have somebody running all of it for them. Tony Todd has worked with video game devs in the past. He followed the Valve Twitter when he was working with them on Half-Life 2 Episode 2. Valve is a dev company that created the Half-Life game series. He also did a voice recording for Call of Duty Black Ops 2.
The hardest part of getting that job was it was my first exposure to not being able to disclose anything, the NDAs. I couldn't tell anybody, including family members, close friends, because if it had leaked, I would be sued. So I had to carry that secret for about 7 months. And as a gamer, I mean, I knew it was coming. I knew it was a total of maybe 3 months actual work. Gaming voiceover is one of my favorite things to do. I have a new game from the creator of Halo. Going to be dropping sometime next year. It's called The Protagonist, and I'm really excited about that. I've already done 2.5 voice sessions for that. With a couple more to go. In the same interview from Slasher Radio Podcast in June of 2018, Tony Todd actually talks about some secret projects too. We have a bunch of great projects that are in the can. Some of them I can tell you about, but there's a big one coming out in October from Gail Hurd, producer of Walking Dead. It's going to hit 2,000 screens, I think October 12th or 18th, one of those two. It seems like one of the projects he was talking about was the reboot by Jordan Peele, but he talked about Jordan Peele directing this pretty openly earlier in the interview, so I'm not really sure. I know the rights now lie at Universal, and they have no interest in putting out a Candyman because it would conflict with their catalog. People like Jordan Peele have an interest in it, and if anybody were to do it, I would hope he would. Also, he said great projects plural, so it's possible that he was talking about DBD. I'd definitely say that Tony Todd is keeping his secrets and knows about future projects that he doesn't leak. Tony Todd probably knows if a DBD Candyman collab is in the works. A lot of people think that Candyman was scheduled to come into DBD alongside the release of the reboot. Tony Todd tweeted about having voiceover sessions in May of 2020. We know that Behavior brought in Bruce Campbell for the Ash Williams recordings, so some people speculated that they were doing the same thing with Tony Todd for Candyman. This also happened around the time that the reboot was set to launch, but the reboot got pushed back to 2021 from 2020 because of COVID. So a lot of people think that the Candyman chapter in DBD got pushed back as well. And
again, new film coming out. It's a good marketing, tie-in for you guys. I'm sure you're well aware.
People have reminded me on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the 3 fundamental questions that we talked about in the last video that kind of determines if Behavior would chase a killer like Candyman. Number 1, does he fit into the game? In my opinion, he does. Personally, I think he fits the overall aesthetic of DBD even more than Trickster. Candyman is kind of on the same list as Freddy, Michael, and Bubba as like a classic kind of killer. Number 2, would it make Behavior money? I definitely think it would. There's a ton of interest to bring Candyman into the game. Matthew Cote has even talked about this in an interview before.
The most requested is definitely Jason, but besides that, there's a couple that float to the top. There's a couple. Yeah, Candyman is definitely up there.
Number 3, can they get the license? As we mentioned before, TriStar Pictures owns the copyright license that they'd have to get. It's possible that it's difficult for Behavior to negotiate this license with them. It also could be a timing thing if they're trying to time it with the reboot. We saw with Resident Evil that they timed it with the Capcom 5-year. It's possible that they timed the Candyman chapter with the reboot that's coming out in August. Chapter 21 will come out approximately in early September, so we'll have to wait and see what Behavior does for that. This is pretty much the last thing we have to go off of for the Candyman DBD speculation. Guys, let me know which license you want me to explore next. I've lowered down the next video to 3 or 4 possibilities. That's pretty much going to conclude this video. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you want to see the next video in this series. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one.